Good afternoon, class of 2022, family and friends. It's great to see you. I am delighted to welcome those of you who are here in person and those joining on live stream to Camp Randall for the 169th Spring Commencement at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Congratulations, graduates, you have made it. Over the past 2 years, we've all had the opportunity to try out different ways to be together while being apart. And I don't know about you, but for me, there is no substitute for this, where we are really together. To the 40,000 grandparents, parents, uncles, aunts, siblings, and friends up in the stands, I see your pride and your joy, maybe a little relief at times. I know it's been a long and sometimes difficult journey. Thank you for all that you have done to bring your graduates to this moment. Let's give all of them a round of applause. You might have heard that there are two seasons here in Wisconsin, winter and construction. And we just exited winter, and we're smack in the middle of construction. So pardon the dust behind us. I hope you'll come back this fall and enjoy a game from our new plaza in the south end zone. And I want to give a shout out to our letters and science graduates who are up in the stands today because of the construction. I hope all of you are going to take advantage of one last chance to jump around in the student section. No other class has gotten to do that. Today, we confer almost 7,000 bachelor's, master's, and law degrees. All of you have earned the right to call yourself graduates of the University of Wisconsin-Madison, a university whose faculty and alumni include 20 Nobel Prize winners and 41 Pulitzer Prize winners, and whose discoveries and innovations continue to change the world. There is one group here I want to call out for special recognition. If you are the first in your family, the first generation of your family to earn a college degree, please stand if you are able. Let's give all of them a round of applause. Thank you. It is fitting that we celebrate today's commencement in this historic space, one of the oldest stadiums in the United States. 70,000 troops trained here to fight for the Union in the Civil War. For more than a century, this has been UW's football field and a location for commencement. And this stadium and the field house behind it have long been a favorite venue for all sorts of events, from major concerts to speeches by world leaders and great scholars, such as John Kennedy, Desmond Tutu, the Dalai Lama, and Toni Morrison, to name just a few. JFK held a campaign rally here just 2 weeks before he was elected president. He spoke at length to a crowd of about 15,000 faculty and students about the need for this nation to make good on its promises of fairness and justice and equal opportunity for all people. It was a good message for the university. For 5 generations, UW-Madison has been a place where students stand up, speak out, and work to create lasting change. A place where faculty, students, and alumni have been responsible for some of the most important achievements of the past century. That includes anti-poverty initiatives like Social Security and workers' compensation developed here at this university, the National Park System, the National Weather Service, and the creation of stem cell science, the newest frontier in the treatment and prevention of a wide variety of human diseases. The members of the class of 2022 are building on this proud legacy in many ways. You stepped up to the challenge to make this campus greener and more sustainable, leading to our largest investment in solar energy last summer. And I want to thank the senior class gift of our Green Fund, which will support the next generation of student-led projects to address climate change. Thanks to all of you who are part of that. You also embraced public service. You voted in far higher numbers than your peers at other schools, and you helped make UW-Madison one of the top schools in the nation for Peace Corps volunteers. I know some of you are out there who are going into the Peace Corps. And when a group of your classmates noticed that the historically black fraternities and sororities on this campus for 75 years had seemed pretty invisible, you worked together to make them more visible. Just 2 weeks ago, we unveiled a new monument to Black Greek life here at UW. It's called the Divine Nine Garden Plaza, and if you haven't visited yet along Campus Mall, be sure to stop by before you leave campus. Of course, you've also been part of a few traditions that are just a little bit less serious. Eating ice cream, popcorn, and brats, sometimes all at once, on the Union Terrace on the first sunny days of spring, even though it's actually 45 or 50 degrees out, because, well, there's just no place like the Terrace at any other college in America. Getting to know which number 80 bus drivers will wait for you when you're running down Observatory with a 40-pound backpack and 2 minutes to get to class. I understand the driver with the leather vest was particularly popular. Traying down Observatory Hill on a snowy winter afternoon. And families, if you're not familiar with traying, picture your student on a cafeteria tray. And no, we don't really encourage it, but it's hard to stop. And of course, you've had a chance to jump around and attend some great athletic events here at UW. You've come a long way from those first few days on campus when you were Google mapping how to get from the Lakeshore dorms to East Campus Mall and getting your nerve up to how to raise your hand in the middle of class. You have worked harder, and you've learned more than you might imagine you could have. And you've discovered new talents and interests. And if we've done our job, you will leave here with a new appreciation for your ability to contribute to something bigger than yourself. The author, activist, and UW alum Bell Hooks, who passed away in December, once wrote, "I want there to be a place in the world where people can engage in one another's differences in a way that is redemptive, full of hope and possibility. Though some days we fall short, the university strives to be that place, and our shared commitment to the Wisconsin idea helps bring us all together." I want to give a couple of shout-outs to students who have embodied this mission of public service. Lauren Azu of Detroit. Where are you? Wave your hand somewhere in that crowd. Lauren has immersed herself in work related to improving representation and combating disinformation in the media. As editor-in-chief of The Black Voice, she's mentored student writers, and as a fellow at our Center for Journalism Ethics, she was central to the Election Integrity Project. Today, she's earning bachelor's degrees in journalism and Latin American, Caribbean, and Iberian studies, and will begin an internship at the Wall Street Journal. Lauren, congratulations. Max Bobholz of Green Bay. Wave your hand, Max. There you are. Max started a charity when he was just 12 years old called Angels at Bat that collects new and used baseball equipment and distributes it to African nations. In his time here, he worked with our law and entrepreneurship clinic to turn that charity into an official nonprofit, and it expanded into 7 other states, while he was also working in one of our COVID-19 research labs. Today, Matt receives a bachelor's degree in African Cultural Studies and Biology and plans to pursue a PhD in global or public health. Congratulations, Mac. And Joel Baraka, who came to UW as one of our King Margaret Scholars, which sends us gifted academic students from nations around the world who want to use their UW degree to address economic development and poverty in their home countries. Joel lived in a refugee camp in Uganda as a child and founded a nonprofit called My Home Stars, which now supports learning for 5,000 refugee children in Uganda. In part, by using an educational board game he and a classmate developed. Today, Joel receives a bachelor's degree in civil and environmental engineering. Joel, congratulations. I began by talking about some of the people who have shared this historic space. But you might have noticed I left out one important group, our student athletes who've been bringing Badgers into Camp Randall Stadium for 105 years. That first game was against Minnesota, and yes, we trounced them, setting the tone for the next century of the Badgers against the Gophers. But let's talk about the Badger women. It is especially fitting that we honor our Badger women athletes as we approach the 50th anniversary of Title IX, the law that, among other things, gave women athletes equal opportunity to play college sports. Several student athletes from our nationally ranked teams are members of this class. Will the members of the Badger women's volleyball and women's hockey teams please stand so we can recognize you? I'm told they carry those trophies with them everywhere. Thank you for giving us some truly unforgettable seasons. In my 9 years of leading this great university, some of my most memorable moments have been with our students. You have inspired, and you've occasionally challenged me with your passion, your enthusiasm, and your curiosity. And I admit you've given me a good laugh with some of your Becky Blank memes. I particularly like this one. That was the Becky Blank pub crawl that took place last month. Somehow I wasn't invited. Wherever life takes you next, I hope you will come back and visit occasionally. We want to know how you're doing. To all of you here in person, to everyone on the live stream, from New Delhi to New York City, from Shanghai to Rhinelander, Wisconsin, and every point in between, thank you for being part of our big Badger family. Congratulations, class of 2022, and on Wisconsin!